And I think this dovetails into another discussion about how much this sport costs.
Yeah.
And how and I think this is very appropriate in this forum because it requires a lot of money to ride nice bikes. It's very expensive and it can be exclusionary because of that.
Phil Phails for you.
So, maybe people that want to ride, they're like, oh, I can't ride because my bike's not nice enough, or I'm not going to be fast enough because my bike is this or my bike is that. But I think what we want to get out is that we will really just want you to ride, and we're going to do everything in our power to get you there.
Yeah, Trevor greased my crank, y'all. Greased it hard. And it's fast now.
Yeah.
Right?
I took apart the bottom racket.
Oh, yeah, he took apart my bottom racket, y'all.
I took the bearing.
And then he greased it.
Cleaned all the crud out.
So what I'm saying is,
The bike that we
Yeah.
donated to you.
yeah. I'm riding a bike that was donated by this community.
And you
The bike.
the guy that fits you too.
I'm bluffing you. This is what I talked about this earlier. Brett, a person that we like. Oh yeah, we can't talk about it. But sometimes when guys, we bust each other's chops a little bit. It's how we say we love you. It's how I say I love you.
Okay,
you
but
know?
let's talk about how nice the bottom bracket is now.
Oh, yeah.
Got fresh grease. It's
Yeah.
clean. And
But that's an example.
yeah.
It's an example of making this equipment as fast as possible for everybody, making it accessible.
And it doesn't have to be expensive.
Because,
I think it's the
we
point.
ride normal bikes, right? We both have cyclo bikes.
Yeah, I mean, my bike, I got from another person who is in the industry, and I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
And I've been riding it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about this community is that, no matter what, there's somebody who wants to help you get riding
Yep.
again. We all want our friends to ride. We know that we are happier when we're riding. And so we're always looking out to give whatever skills and time we have available to us to the other people. And I'm just as thankful and dependent on the bike shop as you. The rear wheel I'm riding now, is Matt's. And the group set that's on the bike.
the aero socks that you wear.
The aero socks.
I need to actually. You said I needed to come by your place to get some socks.
But really,
Socks.
a pair of socks here, and then I had ended up with an extra hydration pack that I tossed over to Trevor, and the whole thing is I have other friends who their bike that they had sitting outside, and they're like, oh, what do I need to get this going? And then I take a look at it at my house for the people in need, because I know that having it, let's say you don't even have enough money to get a car going. If you can get on a bike and get rolling, that level of freedom and autonomy that offers you is incredible. And there's there's charities set up around the world based on that fundamental concept of let's get bikes to people.
Yeah.
It gives you mobility and freedom that especially in this when we have infrastructure that's so based on driving wheeled
Right.
And it's healthy.
cars around.
Yellow Bike Project here in Austin,
Yeah.
Texas, right?
For sure.
Yellow Bike Project.
It's healthy too. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all remember what I looked like when I first started riding road bikes? I was 260 pounds. I just hit 192 just the other day.
Congrats, man.
So
That's awesome.
that's a lot of weight shed just because I'm trying to not use my car.
And I don't think we need a fancy bike to ride bikes or to ride hard. I ride
Yeah.
hard with you guys, and you might get gains, you might get some watts here and there. But the one thing I noticed riding, at least with some of our rides, well, not our rides, some of the rides I've been on, is feeling less than because I didn't have a fancy bike. People would have
Colnagos.
you've got a Colnago.
Oh, boy.
Well, yeah, people would have really expensive bikes, and they talk about it, and they would give each other accolades for it, and I'd just be like, feeling a little left out of that discussion.
But I will say there is no richer feeling
Then beating them,
than you on a beater.
beating them.
Beating
that actually fuels me.
Yeah.
That happens a lot because Phil's fast now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I think I just I'm in the process of getting a new bike.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm getting a new bike is not because I can't ride mine anymore, but because I love this sport so much that when I have extra money to play with, I want to A, support the bike shop, and B, give myself more and more reason and more fun ways to ride
I
around.
thought you were just done riding with us. I thought you were just done riding with us.
What do you mean?
Saying you just were like, no.
Because now you need
I want-
fast bikes. You
Yeah,
don't
now
have to
you-
ride with them.
now you-
Oh, no.
now you need a fast group.
I'm perfectly capable of riding slower than I can ride.
That was a burn. He just burned us a little bit.
All right. Well, it's getting close to my bedtime.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Rusty's a strong rider.
Yes.
He's a strong rider. Maybe one of our strongest riders.
Best looking
If he-
legs.
He's got the best looking legs. He rides the strongest and he rides the hardest.
James has got the brightest legs.
James has got the brightest.
I don't think I ride the hardest.
You don't?
No, I ride easy most of the time. I ride hard like once, maybe twice a week.
Oh, this gets into another one. Are we done with that discussion about the cost? Well, I kind of derailed it, but
Yeah, no, I guess I just wanted to make the point that, you're not going to be criticized for riding a less expensive bike.
No.
It's more about, are you there? Are you putting in the work?
Does your kit match?
Does it give you joy?
it's not about your kit match.
Well, I think that there's a journey that people go on in this sport where they start with like they have a bike and they want to ride it more. And like the first bike I had was like my dad's old Centurion Le Mans 12 speed, and I rode that thing until the seat fell off and I got a big gash in my leg, so it hit a pothole. And then finally after like I had ridden the wheels off that bike, then I like spent all my bar mitzvah money on my first like real road bike, and then I rode that until the wheels fell off that. And then I got like my first like real race bike, and then like gone onward and onward. And I think like when somebody shows up on a bike that's like the bike that they want to ride, and they looked at the group of the guys and girls in spandex, and it's an intimidating sight. And they showed up and they go like, I want to ride with them. I am stoked. I don't care how slow I have to ride. I don't care like how long it'll take me or how many hours I have to spend in the sun. Giving that person the companionship that they came for is like the thing that got me into the sport. And
He does that.
It's what I love about it.
Yeah, he rode in the back with me the first couple rides, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him that the benefit of riding with a group wasn't in the drafting. It was in the confidence you get from riding together.
Yeah, you were a draft denier for a while.
I was a draft denier. I was a draft dodger.
You thought that the draft benefit was all the spirit of camaraderie.
Camaraderie is what drives you.
Right.
And when you get dropped, but there's two things that happen, right?
that
When you
dog
get
that
dropped,
drove you.
that dog drove me.
Yeah, that dog was like, hey, and you would swing out real wide. Hey, no, there's a dog back there. It's like, yes, that's the 12th time you told us about your dog.
It's a mean dog. You remember that dog, Tom?
He just likes to run.
just
He's
wants to
not going after you.
He came up and almost
fine.
touched one of the other riders, and they freaked out and they screamed at him.
Yeah.
But he didn't go for their leg or anything. He was just like,
He's not
"Can
a
you go
biter."
faster.
Oh, one thing for
wants
the
to-
viewers, if they
Yeah.
are riding and there is a dog and they're scared of the dog, carrying a water bottle and squirting the dog in the face with water is a good way of getting the dog to at least take a couple steps where it doesn't know what's happening so you can get away from it.
Y'all, if y'all want to meet this dog, I haven't seen him lately.
He was there last week.
Yeah,
He was?
Yeah.
You're just too fast now.
I'm
See
too fast
now
for
you're
that.
he's not
I'm
out.
too
You're
soon.
you're already gone
That's right,
before
baby.
he comes
That's
out.
right,
They're
baby.
gonna stay at that front.
It's James's poor wife that has to deal with the dog now.
Ain't she?
Yeah, we don't have this. I was gonna call you a sack of meat, but then that sounded.
You're gonna call me a sack of meat?
Yeah.
See, this is
Yeah.
what Trevor was gonna say. I love you. That's his way of doing it.
But I.
That's how guys do it.
it.
You say sack of meat. No, I translate. Right, and that's how we
Say
do
with
it.
friend. I said what I was gonna say.
Tynan doesn't do that.
No.
I love you too. Now, if you guys wanted to see this dog, if you live in Austin, can I invite them to the ride?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Trevor said no.
No. It's
Okay, we can invite them to the
Yes.
ride. We meet on Saturdays. If you've got a bike and you've got a love of biking, we meet on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. here at the Bicycle House. What's the address, James?
6318 Burnett Road.
6318 Burnett Road.
Austin.
I think it's Sweet B.
Sweet
It
Bee.
is Sweet Bees.
It's Sweet B, not Sweet T. Sweet B.
We all wear spandex, and the ride, like, if it takes like between 2.5, 3 hours.
You don't have to wear spandex, but everybody is going to be wearing spandex, but I didn't wear spandex the first couple
Yeah,
rides.
like
Please eat before the ride.
Here's the thing: we're going to ride 34 miles, and
it's a ways if you haven't ridden.
if you're going from 0 to 34 miles, it's going to be a
be
big thing to do.
Yeah.
So you might want to do some things before that.
Because I can bring a goo, but I can't bring a lubies.
So eat some food before you come. Bring some water. Bring a bike kit.
Saturdays at 7 a.m.
Saturdays at 7 a.m. Come ride bikes with us. You'll meet this dog, especially if you're slow. Right? But if you're fast like me, I mean, you're not even going to see me, y'all.
And if you're not sure about your bike, then bring it into the shop. We'll take a look at it couple days before. Give us a call.
If you hadn't ridden in a while, if
not-
the bike's been sitting around.
Yeah.
You're probably going to need it to get looked at.
If somebody bought you a bike years ago and you were like, what is this for? That you can ride it, actually.
If your grandpa died,
Yeah.
you left a bike that you want to ride out of sentimental value or sentimental,
If you're a runner who keeps getting repetitive use injuries and you want to do a sport that's actually fun, you can ride bikes.
Or to purchase speed, you can come talk to James or I. He will sell you a bike.
Yep, these guys here in this shop, they sell bikes, bike parts. They also fix
And more
bikes.
than that, they build like dream bikes.
Dream bikes for sure. We got Tades. There's bikes back there that are really fancy.
Todd is not here right now.
Well,
I
it's-
picked up this morning.
Oh, what's that yellow one?
That's
Todd.
that is a Tade, but it's not the Pogachar official. It's not the multicolor one. It's the
Names
tour
on it.
Tade's the man who won the Tour de France.
Funny enough,
Oh.
Tade and I are the same exact size. Both 5'9". He just runs a 130 stem.
How tall is he?
No, both 5'9".
5'8"
He runs a 130 stem because he is much more flexible and maybe a couple pounds lighter.
Maybe.
And
I mean, yeah, we can talk about cycling
both
and
fast.
body dysmorphia.
no,
So they got bikes.
Yeah.
They got.
what's James's conflict?
You got a conflict, James?
No, like we did bar weight.
Oh.
Oh, are we done with that talk?
Yeah. Yeah.
That talk was about the cost of getting into bikes.
Just the inclusivity, I think. Yeah.
Don't judge people on
But if you got a lot of money, go spend it at a bike shop. It's a good place to spend money.
just even
Yeah.
if you have a bike, just get on it. You're doing something more
Definitely
than the
get
next
on bikes.